Here we get another case where y equals mx plus b is a great way to help us out. If we look at these answer choices, and remember, the answer choices are part of the question, we can see that they're all written in y equals mx plus b form. So there's two things that we can look at. We can look at m, which represents the slope of the line, and then b, which represents the y-intercept of the line. So right away, I always go to y-intercept first because it just seems easier. Now, it's hard for me to tell because there's no actual line here. But with the way they're asking this, they want there to basically be a line that goes through these points and not necessarily goes through them like connecting the dots exactly, but just kind of like generally follows that trend, right? So it might go through some of the points, it might kind of go above or below some of the others. That is not important. The dots are basically irrelevant here. It's the line that's kind of the invisible line that's connecting those dots that's important. That's what they're asking about. So no matter how I draw that line in my head, I can see that the y-intercept is somewhere around the number 2. But it's a positive 2, right? So something like choice A, where the 2 is a negative, is not going to work. So that gets rid of that. Now, choice C, it looks like this doesn't have a y-intercept at all. But remember, it's there. It's just not written. It's a plus 0. And again, I'm looking at this. I don't think it's going to be 0. It seems far away, so that doesn't seem right. Then we get to the other piece of this, which is the slope. And we can see that the number attached to the x is different. It's either positive or negative. So I don't actually need to calculate the slope here. I just need to know the direction. This is a positive slope. It's going up. So there you go. Positive slope means it's got to be choice D. So don't do more work than you need to. We could plug points into equations here and test out some of these dots and just see what happens when we plug, let's say, 1, 3, which is this point, into there and just kind of test it out. That can definitely work, but I think it's much faster here to be comfortable with the way that y equals mx plus b works, what it tells us about a line, and to just recognize that the positives and negatives are giving us the different directions and kind of obvious things that we can tell from the graph of the line. So we don't need to calculate that 2.2. We don't need to calculate that 0.9. This really just comes down to the positive and negative symbols attached to those numbers.